Ladies and gentlemen, Fatima Cigarettes is proud to bring you its prize-winning radio program, winner of the Motion Picture Herald Fame Award. The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to Juvenile Bureau. You receive a complaint about an 8-year-old boy and his sister. A neighbor reports they've been going from door to door begging for food. Supposedly, the children are from well-to-do parents. Your job? Investigate. You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, April 27th. It was overcast in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out at Juvenile Bureau. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Kinsling. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from communications, and it was 4:38 p.m. when I got to 1335 Georgia Street, second floor, room 14.
Hi, Joe. Been waiting long? I was just checking the record.
No, I just got here.
What's this thing all about?
Well, just what I told you on the phone. 7-year-old boy and his sister covering the neighborhood begging food. You ready to go?
Yeah, let me put this away first.
All right.
Kid's supposed to be from a wealthy family, huh?
Well, wealthy enough to live in the best part of Bel Air, yeah.
Doesn't make much sense. Must be some kind of a gag, huh?
No, not according to the neighbor who called in.
Yeah?
She says the kids are half starved. Ben and I got in the car and drove out Sunset Boulevard to the Bel Air district. We pulled up in front of a large 2-story home near the corner of Brookline Avenue and Knightsbridge Drive. It was a white frame colonial mansion set back in the middle of well-landscaped lawns and gardens. The other homes in the neighborhood were just as large, $50,000 and up. It was the last place in the city that you'd expect to find neighborhood children begging food. 5:20 p.m. We went around to the rear entrance of the colonial mansion as we'd been instructed on the phone. We located the woman who'd called in the complaint, a Miss Jeanette Bejan. She was employed as laundress and cook by the owners of the house. She was busy fixing dinner.
They're from next door, officer. The children. As I explained on the phone, a boy about 7 years, a girl 5 years old, I guess.
Which side do they live on, Miss Bejan? The house on the corner?
No, the other side. Up here. The brown and white house. Just up the street next door.
Mm-hmm. Are the children there now? Do you know that?
No, but they were here this afternoon again. Here to the back door asking for something to eat. I don't understand it. Something must be wrong.
Well, have they been around often, Miss Bejan?
2 or 3 days, maybe 4 days. First, I thought they were fooling, but they were not. I gave them some cookies, sandwiches. They were very hungry. They ate them like they were starving. The little girl saved her cookies. She took them with her.
How about their parents? Are they at home?
Excuse me. What's that? There. That's better. No, I haven't seen the mother the last few days. I understand they are divorced. The mother, she lives there with the children. The father, I don't know.
Well, what's their name, do you know?
Kessler. Madame, the woman I work for. She says there are 3 children in the Kessler family. But I don't know. I've only seen the 2, the boy and the girl. I would go over and see what is wrong, but I do not know the Kessler. It is not my place. That's why I called you, officer.
All right, Miss Bejan. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, not at all, officer. You understand, I do not mind giving the children food. Well, I think only something is wrong if they do not get it at home.
Well, thank you very much for notifying us. We're going to check into it.
I'm just a little curious, Miss Bejan. What's that you're making?
This? Napoleon.
How's that?
Napoleon. You know, Napoleon pastry.
Oh, yeah. Sure smells good. Well, thanks again.
Oh, certainly, officer. If there is anything I can do, you will let me know?
Yes, ma'am, we will. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Those Swedish women make pretty good cooks, don't they?
I don't know. She sounded French to me.
Huh? Maybe so. Most good at cooking, anyhow.
Yeah, that brown and white house next door, that must be it, huh?
Yeah, that name, Kessler, they fairly prominent around town, society?
I don't know. There's quite a few of them. Could be. Any way you look at it, it's hard to figure, isn't it?
Kids have been at it for 4 days. If it's on the level, they really must be in a bind.
Garage door is open back there. No sign of a car.
Kids' bicycles, all.
Let's try the front door, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We should better try it again, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
Hello, son. Your name's Kessler, is that right?
Yes, I'm Richard. My mother's not home right now. Maybe you can come back tomorrow.
Well, we're police officers, Richard. If you're not busy, we'd like to talk to you for a minute. Is that all right?
Yes, sir. That'd be all right. Would you come in, please?
Thank you.
Richard Kessler was a blonde-haired, wiry boy, polite, well-mannered. He told us that he was 8 years old and that he attended the neighborhood grammar school. He showed us back to the kitchen where he was warming a can of soup that he'd borrowed from a neighbor. It was a large house, richly furnished, but it hadn't been cleaned for weeks. Dust was piled up thick on the furniture, and children's books and toys were scattered around the rooms along with scraps of dried bread, half-eaten. The house was cold and musty. On a small bar in the dining room, there were 3 half-filled cocktail glasses, a plate full of cigarette butts. Evidently, they'd been standing there for days. On the sink in the kitchen, there were a few pieces of stale bread and an open bottle of milk that had turned sour. Next to it were a half a dozen empty whiskey bottles. The Kessler boy was well-dressed, except for the shirt that he had on. It looked as if he'd been wearing it for a week.
What did you want to talk to me about, officer? I haven't done anything wrong.
Oh, we know that, son. We'd just like to find out how you've been getting along.
I've been getting along all right. 2 A's and 4 B's on my report card last month.
Mm-hmm. Where's your sister, Dick?
Judy, she's down the street. She'll be back in a minute.
How about your mother? Where's she?
She's out, too. She'll be back.
When do you expect her, son?
Pretty soon. She's coming back pretty soon.
Well, your sister, Judy, she's younger than you are, isn't she, Dick?
Yes. Judy's only 6. I'm 8.
Any other grown-ups live here with you besides your mother?
No, Mom takes care of us. She'll be back pretty soon.
We'd like to have you tell us the truth now, Dick. How long's she been gone?
I don't know. Probably important. Taking her a long time. If you can come back tomorrow, she'll probably be here then.
When was the last time you saw her, son? Son, how about that?
A couple of days ago.
And this is Tuesday. You mean she left the house Sunday?
No, before that. Last Friday night she went out. Said she'd be back. I don't know.
Did your mother say where she was going, Dick?
No, her boyfriend was here. Larry, I don't know his last name. Mom went out with him to a party, I think. I don't know where. She'll be back all right.
Did you leave anyone to take care of?
No, we can take care of ourselves. Nobody's fixed the cooking, though. I don't know how yet. I'd better look at the soup on the stove.
No, I'll take care of it, son. You go ahead. Sit down.
Has your mother ever left you like this before, son?
Maybe once or twice. She never stayed away this long, though. I don't know.
What's the matter, Dick?
Well, Johnny, officer, my little brother. He hasn't eaten much for a while. Must be hungry by now. I was fixing the soup for him.
Yeah, well, where's Johnny?
He's upstairs in the nursery. He's been sick with a bad cold. Mom knew Johnny was sick. That's why I wondered. She hasn't come back yet. I don't think Johnny's feeling good.
Do you want to take steps for him, son?
Yeah, all right, if you want.
Beth, you want to come on?
Yeah.
How long has Johnny had this cold, Dick?
Well, a couple of days before Friday, before Mom left.
Mm-hmm. How old is he?
Johnny's just a little kid. He won't be 2 years old until July. I've been wondering about him. Coughed a lot at first. Been giving him milk and cookies. That's what Judy and I had. I don't know.
Has the doctor been to see Johnny?
Oh, no, I thought of calling him. I didn't know the doctor's name. I was waiting until Mom got home. This is Johnny's room here.
Mm-hmm.
In the crib, officer. That's my brother Johnny.
Pretty cold in here.
Yeah, let's have a look. Hey, young fella.
Hi, Johnny. You hungry now?
Joe, look at his eyes.
Yeah, I want to get to a phone, doctor, and ambulance. Tell him to hurry.
Right?
Oh, what's the matter, officer? What about Johnny's eyes?
You'll be all right, Dick.
Oh, he's been acting awful quiet, though. Hardly moved around at all. Most of the time he's jumping up and down in his crib like anything.
Has anyone at all been in here to see him since Friday?
Yes, sir. My sister Judy and I. We changed his diapers and give him something to eat.
I see.
Gee, I sure wish Mom would get home. I'd like to talk to her.
Yeah, so would I. 5:48 p.m. We put in a call to the office for a policewoman, then we got in touch with Lieutenant Lee Jones at the crime lab, and he sent out a man to photograph the condition of the Kessler home and the children. The doctor and the ambulance arrived, and little Johnny Kessler was taken to the general hospital in critical condition. The 22-month-old boy was in a coma. Richard Kessler and his sister Judy were taken to Georgia Street Juvenile Bureau and then transferred to Juvenile Hall and placed under protective custody, Section 700 Sub B, Welfare and Institution Code. The two of them were given a bath and something to eat. Judy Kessler was interrogated separately by a policewoman. Ben and I talked to the boy, Richard. After a few minutes, he broke down and admitted that his mother had gone off and left the three children alone on at least a half a dozen occasions. He told us his parents were divorced. He rarely saw his father, but his mother had had 2 or 3 boyfriends at the house during the past year. He also told us his mother drank quite a bit.
But she's never been gone this long before, Sergeant. Maybe she's out somewhere and has no way to get home.
We'll find her all right, son. Don't you worry about it.
Well, this boyfriend of your mother's, Dick, his first name was Larry. Is that all you can tell us?
Yes, sir. I don't know his last name. Are you going to keep us here all night, Judy and me?
Just for a day or so. They'll take good care of you, son.
Where'd you take Judy?
Well, she's just next door, Dick. You can see her in just a minute now.
And how about Johnny? I always take care of him. Pretty fussy around strangers.
Well, they've got him over at the hospital, Dick. They're going to take good care of him now. You can count on that.
I don't know, officer. I better see him. He might get awful fussy.
All right. We'll fix that up for you.
Do you have any relatives in Los Angeles, son? Aunts, uncles, anyone like that?
No, just my father, but I don't know where he lives. We had a nurse who used to take care of us, Mrs. McIntosh. She was swell. My mom fired her, though.
Oh, how'd that happen? Do you know?
No, I'm not quite sure. Maybe my mom was drinking. Mrs. McIntosh got mad at her. Had a big fight, and Mom fired her.
Oh, now, this Mrs. McIntosh, you know where we can find her?
No, sir, I don't.
How about some of the other boyfriends that your mother had, Dick? Do you remember any of their names?
No, one of them was George something. I don't remember the other one.
Joe, see you a minute?
Yeah, Mac. You want to stay with the boy, huh, Ben?
Yeah.
Hospital call. It's a lousy thing.
Well, what's that?
The Kessler boy, little Johnny.
Yeah?
He just died.
John Albert Kessler, white male American, age 22 months. All the pertinent facts and data would be listed on the crime report. And if and when the case was closed, the report would be filed away. Wouldn't be any different from 1,000 other dead body reports. Same size, same color. Same number up in the left-hand corner. In the course of 10 or 20 years on the job, a police officer sees a lot of them. Most of them he forgets. A few of them he never forgets. The next morning, the body was posted to the county morgue. It was found that the youngster had been suffering from malnutrition, but the cause of death was listed as a basal skull fracture. Homicide detail was notified. The search for the mother, Mrs. Jean Kessler, went on. We talked to her neighbors, all of her friends that we could locate. We checked out an address book that was found in Mrs. Kessler's effects at her home. We got out a broadcast and an APB. No luck. Thursday, April 29th.
How about the youngster's brother and sister, Ben? You think it could have happened that way?
How do you mean?
Well, we were taking care of the little fella. They might have had an accident with him. They're afraid to own up to it.
I don't think so, Joe.
No, that's not very likely, Mac. We talked to him quite a bit last night. A couple of pretty honest kids. Pretty sure that they wouldn't lie about something like that.
Where does that leave it, the mother?
Good possibility. We know Mrs. Kessler drinks quite a bit. She could have lost patience with a little boy. More chance of an accident there.
I get it. Juvenile, Friday. Yeah, Bert. Where's that? Uh-huh. Right, thanks.
Yeah?
Woman answering Miss Kessler's description checked into the hotel down on South Hope last night.
Still registered?
When she checked out early this morning, they found a woman's sport coat in the room.
What about it?
Blood stains on it.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to tonight's authentic case history.
Here, step by step, are the actual reasons why Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette. Why in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest domestic and Turkish varieties. Extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, round, perfect cigarettes. Rolled in the finest paper money can buy. Manufactured in the newest and most modern of all cigarette factories.
Quality even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you,
Ah, that's different.
yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima quality yourself. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all, long cigarettes.
Friday, April 30th. We were still without a lead as to the whereabouts of the missing mother, Mrs. Jean Kessler. The blood-stained coat, which had been found in the South Hope Street Hotel, was shown to Mrs. Kessler's friends and to her children, Richard and Judy. They identified it as belonging to the missing woman. Routine investigation of the hotel room failed to uncover any further leads. We got out a supplementary APB, and then we started rechecking with the Kessler woman's friends and acquaintances. Nothing. We rechecked a dozen taverns and cocktail lounges that she'd been known to frequent. No sign of her, no sign of her boyfriend. In rechecking her personal effects, we found a canceled check payable to their former nurse, Mrs. McIntyre. The endorsement carried her address. We checked it out. She'd moved. We traced her to the forwarding address. There we were told that she had a new job as a nursemaid with a wealthy family living in the Los Feliz district. We called there and talked to Mrs. McIntyre, and she told us that she was just leaving the house with the three children for an outing at the park and the zoo. We made arrangements to meet with her out there, 1:30 p.m. Ben and I located her at the head of the path leading through the main part of the Griffith Park Zoo.
I read about it in the paper, Sergeant, about Johnny. I didn't know you wanted to talk to me. I would have called in if I did.
We're still trying to locate the mother, Mrs. McIntosh. Can you help us out there at all?
No, I don't know. Have you asked at those places she used to go to all the time, where she used to drink?
Yes, ma'am, we have. They couldn't help her. Did you know any of Miss Kessler's boyfriends, the ones that had come to the house?
Yes, I knew all of them. Donald, don't you wander off now. Same for you, Patsy. You stay close.
The boy, Richard, he was telling us about one of the boyfriends, ma'am, a fellow named Larry.
Oh, yes. Donald, you heard what I said. You stay close. Yes, I knew Larry.
You remember what his last name was now?
Yes, Bartell. Some kind of an actor in the movies, I think.
Larry Bartell. You know where he lives?
No, I think he had an apartment in Hollywood. I wouldn't know the address.
What kind of a man was this Bartell? I mean his temperament and things like that.
Well, I think he was kind of lazy. I think Mrs. Kessler was giving him money.
Mm-hmm. Did the two of them ever argue or have any fights?
All the time. He had a terrible temper.
Did you ever strike Miss Kessler?
Yes, I saw it happen several times. Not too close to the cage, Donald. Back a little.
How did this Bartell act toward the children, Mrs. McIntyre?
Indifferent, I guess. They annoyed him sometimes.
Well, that was after that you had the argument with Miss Kessler?
Yes. It was about her drinking and the boyfriend and all the rest. I just got sick of it, and I told her what I thought. She didn't want to admit she was getting old, not caring for the children, pretending she was still in her 20s.
Well, do you have any idea where we might locate the father?
Well, they're divorced, you know. He's the head salesman for a lumber concern downtown. He inherited most of his money.
I have the name of the company at home. You can have it if you like.
Yes, ma'am. We'd appreciate that.
You know, it's the children I feel sorry for.
Yes, ma'am.
3 beautiful children. And that poor little Johnny, I just can't understand it.
What's that?
How could anyone desert a helpless baby like that?
We'll ask his mother. Friday, 5 p.m. Mrs. McIntosh called us at the office and gave us the business address of the missing woman's ex-husband, Richard Lane Kessler. We called there, but they told us Kessler was away on a week's vacation. They had no idea where to contact him, but he was expected back in a few days. We called Central Casting and asked them to check their talent list for a bit player by the name of Larry Bartell. They had no such name listed. Saturday, 8 a.m. The Kessler children, Richard and Judy, remained in the custody of juvenile authorities. The search for their mother continued. All day Saturday, Ben and I ran down what few leads we had. They went nowhere. Checks to the morgue, the city hospitals, and the drunk tank at the main jail still failed to turn up the missing woman. We checked again at the different drinking places she used to patronize. No one had seen her. 5:30 p.m., we went back to the office.
A lot of mileage today.
Yeah, there's not much to show for it.
Not going to be much fun for those Kessler kids this Sunday.
Why? What do you mean?
First Sunday in May.
Huh?
Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mac.
Hi. Got a piece of news for you.
Yep.
The Kessler woman's boyfriend, Larry Bartell.
What about him?
He's been located.
When he'd seen his name mentioned the previous night in the newspaper stories concerning the case, Larry Bartell had contacted the office to let us know that he didn't consider himself a fugitive. At least that was his story. He'd called just a few minutes before we got back to the office. He left word that he could be found at a Wilshire address all day Sunday. In the meantime, he'd be at the Spotlight Club, the club for theatrical people located in West Hollywood. 6:25 p.m. Ben and I located him at the club back in the billiards room. He was tall, dark-haired, dressed expensively.
I told the cop when I called in you weren't supposed to contact me here. It was important.
That little Kessler boy's dead, Bartell. We think that's pretty important.
Well, I didn't know anything about that. You didn't have to interrupt me. That's an important man I was playing with. Now, what do you want to know?
Where's Miss Kessler?
Well, why ask me? I don't know.
You're a pretty good friend of hers. You were the last person seen with her.
Oh, it was a week ago. We went out to a party last Friday night. I haven't seen her since the following Monday. Last Monday. I'm through with her anyway.
What do you mean?
Well, I just got sick of her, that's all. Pawing all over me, asking me to marry her. I just got sick of it. It wasn't worth it.
You accepted money for her?
Just to tide me over. She had plenty of it. Why not?
Where'd you last see her?
Keep your voices down. I wouldn't like this stuff to get around the club. There's a hotel downtown on South Flower. I can get it the address.
Were you at another hotel with Miss Kessler last week?
Yeah, on South Hope, around 9th Street, I think. Oh, that's where you found a coat, huh?
You've got an explanation for that?
Blood stain? Sure. Crazy dame. So I saw her, then she tried to hit me with a bottle. Cut herself. Boy, I tell you, this wasn't worth it, that's all.
I guess you can prove everything you're telling us, huh?
Of course I can prove it. It's the truth.
And what about the little boy? How'd that happen?
I didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't my fault.
Well, how'd it happen?
Well, it was that Friday night just before we left the house. The old lady and I were downstairs having a few drinks. She put the little kid to bed, but he wouldn't stay there. He just getting up out of bed and running downstairs crying.
Yeah, go on.
Well, she finally took the kid, gave him a good spanking, threw him back in bed. I think he hit his head in one of the posts of the creek.
Why didn't you do something about it?
Well, I told her, but she said it was nothing. Didn't matter. Got a coat from us, that's all. Kids are all right when we left.
You mean all the times you and Mrs. Kessler went out, you knew those children were being left all alone in that house?
Oh, what of it? She's the mother, not me. Now, look, I gotta get back. I kept that game waiting on.
No, just a minute. It's going to wait a little longer. Come on. Larry Bartell was taken downtown and held for questioning on suspicion of 702 WIC, contributing to negligence of minors. He gave us the address of the hotel where he'd last seen Mrs. Kessler. Ben and I checked it out. It was a typical cheap downtown hotel with a bar opening off the lobby. The desk clerk told us a woman answering Mrs. Kessler's description was registered in a room on the second floor. They had an old-fashioned player piano going full volume in the bar. The sound followed us up the stairs.
Tenants here sure must like their music.
Yeah. That's just there, isn't it? 216?
Yeah.
We better try it.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Who's there? Who is it?
You, Mrs. Jean Kessler?
What is it? Who are you?
Police officers would like to talk to you.
I haven't done anything. But he wanted me.
I want to talk to you about your children, Miss Kessler.
But I didn't do anything. Johnny was sick, that's all. I didn't do anything.
That's not what Bartell says.
Larry, have you seen him? Is he coming back to me?
You better get up, lady. Get your coat.
I gotta have Larry back. He's everything to me. I love him. Is he coming back?
You've been gone over a week. Aren't you a little worried about your children?
They're all right. I'm too young to spend my life on children. I need Larry. Where is he?
See if you can find a coat, will you, Ben?
Yeah, all right.
I've been drinking all this. I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I need Larry so bad. He's young like me. I love him. I gave him all my love. Gave him every bit of it.
Yeah, you gave him too much.
What?
You didn't have any left for your kids.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 2nd, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thanks, sir. Friends, if you're with us week to week, you've heard me say, in Fatima, the difference is quality. It's a difference that you can prove just by buying a pack and smoking them. You'll find Fatima's extra mild, with a rich, better flavor and aroma. Stop in at the store in the corner and buy a pack of Fatimas the first chance you get. You'll find in Fatimas, the difference is quality. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of you for your very fine response to our program, Dragnet. Since the first show went on the air about a year and a half ago, your cards and letters have been a constant source of encouragement and guidance. In the field of radio presentations, we felt that we were attempting something a little different, and we were not altogether sure that it would meet with your approval. Possibly, we were sure that our approach to this type of presentation was a sound one, but the final approval had to rest with you. If we may judge by your response, you've placed Dragnet high among the programs that you enjoy most. And for this, we're indeed grateful. We've tried to bring you, first of all, an adult program worthy of the 30 minutes that you spend with us each week. We've tried to bring you an honest and authoritative report on the work of your police force. We've tried to bring before you documented police cases that were informative as well as entertaining. In forthcoming weeks, we sincerely hope that Dragnet remains one of your favorite shows. Your letters have been read by all members of the Dragnet production staff. So if you like to listen to Dragnet, it's because you, our listeners, have helped to guide us in presenting the kind of entertainment that you want. And for this, our thanks.
Mrs. Jean Kessler was filed on and found guilty in Superior Court, charge of manslaughter. She was sentenced to 1 year in the county jail and deprived of the custody of her children. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Now stay tuned for Counter Spy. Then it's Screen Directors Playhouse on
Liggett & Myers, makers of Fatima Cigarettes, is proud to bring you its prize-winning radio program, winner of the Motion Picture Herald Fame Award. The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. 12 men drop completely from sight over a short period of time. There's evidence of foul play. 4 months pass. You finally locate the leading suspect in the case. Your job? Pick him up.
be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, October the 6th. It was sultry in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. We were on the way out from the office, and it was 10:45 a.m. when we got to Ortega Street, number 1285.
Second floor?
Yeah, room 14.
They all smell the same, don't they?
What's that?
Room and housing.
Oh, yeah. No, these are the odd numbers here. Must be down that way, huh?
Yeah, here it is. 14.
Yeah. Just a minute.
Taking his time.
Try it again, huh?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah?
Police officers. Your name Henry Ross?
Get out of here. Get out.
All right, come on.
What is this? What do you want?
Ben?
Yeah. I got him.
What is this? You guys really cops?
All right, come on, get up.
No fooling. No fooling. You really cops? I thought you were faking.
We showed you our identification at the door.
I thought you were faking. That's the truth. There's a couple of guys out to muss me up. I thought you were them.
Your name Henry Ross?
Yeah, that's right. I thought you were one of those moochers I had a fight with in the bar the other night. Said he's going to get a pal and come back in and take care of me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I ain't got no reason to fight with cops. I didn't do my room any good. Landlady's sure going to scream.
All right, come on. You want to finish up dressing? I want to talk to you downtown.
What's it about, officer?
Missing person. We'll brief you when we get downtown.
Well, that's all right with me. Could you take these handcuffs off, please? It's kind of hard dressing with them.
All you have to do is put your shoes on. You can make out.
All right. I don't know why you had to slap handcuffs on me. I didn't know you were cops.
You mind if we check through your things, Rolf?
Huh? Why?
You mind?
Oh, go ahead if you want. I got nothing to hide. You know, if you'd spoke up at the door, there wouldn't have been a fight. I thought you were that mooch in the bar and his friend. I thought you were looking for trouble.
You about ready to go?
Yeah, I'd like to brush my teeth, though, if you don't mind. I got a real mouthful of cotton this morning.
All right, where do you keep your toothbrush?
It's over here. I'll get it.
No, I'll get it. Never mind. Get here?
Yeah, first shelf. It's in the glass.
Yeah,
Don't you trust me?
Here you go. Want some toothpaste?
Yeah.
All right. There you are.
Turn on the water tap, huh? Hey.
Nothing, Joe. It's pretty clean.
Of course I'm clean. What do you expect? Anybody could have made the mistake. I didn't know you were cops.
Henry Ellsworth Ross. Is that your full name?
Yeah, that's right. I hardly ever use the Ellsworth, though. It's a real lousy name, huh? Well, what's the fitch on all this, officer?
We told you, missing person. Want to talk to you about it.
I don't think I can help you. Nobody I know is missing.
How about Paul Davis?
Davis? Yeah, I know Davis. I don't know if his name is Paul, though. Been gone a long time, huh, Miss Davis?
Yeah, that's right.
Something wrong, you think?
We figure murder. After going over his room thoroughly, we took Henry Ellsworth Ross back to the city hall to the interrogation room. He was a slightly built man, dark hair, brown eyes, swarthy complexion. He was a longshoreman by trade. Among his friends and acquaintances, he was known as a heavy drinker and a man with a violent temper. Ben and I questioned him for a half an hour and got nowhere. He sat across the table, relaxed, scraping at a thick callus on his hand with his fingernail.
I'll tell you the truth. I just don't know what you're getting at. I think I know a guy named Davis, and that's about as far as it goes.
Sure that's all you got to tell us?
Of course I'm sure. Now, look, I got a right to call a lawyer if you're going to sit there and throw a lot of charges at me.
We're not throwing charges at you, Henry. We've got a missing persons case. We'd like to have you cooperate. That's about it.
Well, maybe I'd like to, but I can't. Paul Davis, it's just a name to me. Maybe I know him. I don't know.
You got that report there, Ben?
Yeah, just a minute. Here you go.
Thanks. Well, here's the way it goes, Henry.
Yeah?
According to his wife, Paul Davis left Los Angeles by auto a little over 4 months ago. He was driving up to Oakdale, California to take a job with a dairy company up there. He never got there. He's been missing ever since.
So? What's the pitch?
All we've been able to find is Davis's car, the 36 Ford Coupe, 7 Tom 792. It was sold a month ago up in Lodi, California. But Davis didn't sell it. A man by the name of Carter signed the pink slip at the time of the sale. Henry Carter.
Sorry. Don't mean anything to me.
Well, this Carter made it look like Paul Davis had signed the Ford over to him. We checked it out. Davis's signature was Ford's.
That's so? It's supposed to have something to do with me?
Did you ever use the name Henry Carter?
Of course not. Ross. That's the only name I go by.
Never had your name changed?
No.
Never used an alias?
I told you, no.
I wonder if you'd mind taking a look at this. Here you go, this here.
What's this got to do with me?
The pink slip to Paul Davis' car.
Hmm.
See these signatures on the back here? Transfer of ownership. You recognize either one of them?
Paul Davis. Henry H. Carter. No? Doesn't mean anything to me. Is it supposed to?
It should, yeah.
Why?
The signatures are both in your handwriting.
How about it, Henry?
About what? I don't even know what you're talking about. You're trying to give me the treatment? What's this all about?
We're trying to locate Paul Davis.
I'm not even sure I know the guy.
I think you better level, Henry. Our handwriting man checked both the signatures. It's your writing.
Well, then maybe you better get a new handwriting man. I never saw that slip. I never wrote those signatures. Anybody can copy handwriting.
Well, I got something else for you, Ross. I'd like to have you check it over, see if you can identify it.
What is it?
It's a letter. Want to take a look here? Does that mean anything to you?
No, nothing. I hope you're not going to tell me this is my handwriting.
That's what the report says.
Oh, it's crazy. I never wrote like that in my life.
All the writing characteristics match up, same as the signatures on the pink slip.
All right, maybe they are the same. I didn't write either one. I never wrote like that in my life. Here, let me show you how I
No,
write.
that's all right, Henry. Ben, do you want to pull the package tomorrow night?
Yeah, okay.
I don't savvy one bit of this, Sergeant. How about laying it out for me? Huh?
You can see the name at the bottom of the letter. It's signed Henry Carter, same as the pink slip.
Well, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, this letter was sent to the wife of Paul Davis about 9 weeks ago, and it says here that Davis supposedly was too busy to write his wife, so he had this Henry Carter send a letter. He also writes in here that Davis sold his car to Carter.
Somebody trying to cover up, huh?
Yeah, we think so. We think it's Henry Carter.
This Davis guy, he's been gone about 4 months?
That's right.
Well, you said you thought Davis was murdered. How come?
Just an idea.
Hmm.
8 men had disappeared from around here in the last 14 months, just like Davis. 6 more up in the San Joaquin Valley the same way. They took off alone on auto trips. They're never seen again. Not a trace.
Pretty funny.
Here you go, Joe.
Thank you. You've got your record here, Henry, from Baton Rouge. Sent to Sheriff Clemens for it.
Huh? Look, do we have to drag all out again? It's past.
Just one thing we had to check, Henry. You told us that you never use an alias, is that right?
All right, I have. I didn't know what you're getting at. I didn't figure there's any use dragging out dirty laundry again.
I asked you if you ever used the name Henry Carter.
Okay, I've used it. It's a common name. There's a lot of Henry Carters around.
We only know one who fits your description.
I'm clean. You know that.
On the smoke, Henry?
No.
You?
Yeah, thanks.
Well, let me have one, will you?
Sure. Here you go.
Thanks.
We got a match here. You know, we rode this thing for 4 months. It's all over the state. Here.
Thanks.
I'll tell you what we got, Henry. We'll let you make up your own mind.
It's not my writing.
On June 4th, Paul Davis left Los Angeles in his car headed for Oakdale. Late in the afternoon, he stopped for gas at a service station just beyond San Fernando. The attendant says a man was with Davis. You fit that man's description, Henry.
Yeah? Oh, I've seen monks like that in court. They get on the stand and can't even remember their own name.
A couple others. You and Davis stopped for a hamburger just outside of Gorman. There's a man there. He remembers you, too. You stopped again in Bakersfield. Picked up a quart of oil for the car. You and Davis had a Coke. It's the last time he was seen alive.
That makes me a killer, huh?
A month after that, the pink slip to Davis's car came through DMV up in Sacramento. That was for the transfer of ownership from Davis to Henry Carter, both in your handwriting. A couple of weeks later, Mrs. Davis got that letter. A month ago, Davis's car was sold to a dealer in Lodi.
Yeah.
We found the dealer, Ross. Showed him your mugshot. He says you sold him the car.
That all?
It's just the main part. There's more. We've been on the road a lot. We followed you from here to Sacramento and back, Henry. Every stop, every detour took us a long time.
Yeah, I guess it did.
What do you say, Ross?
Nothing.
Any way you want it, Henry.
You got another smoke?
Yeah? Yeah, here you are.
Thanks.
Here.
Yeah. I guess you worked hard on it, huh? All over the state.
That's right.
Must be pretty hot up in the valley summertime. Dusty, huh?
We made out.
I've never been up in the valley in summer. It's too hot for me.
We got people who saw you there.
What's it prove? 10 people and some writing samples. You can't build a case on that. You know it, don't you?
We're going to try.
You think I murdered Davis? You, Sergeant?
Yeah?
You think I murdered those other guys, too, huh? What was it, 10, 12 of them?
We're asking about Davis.
You think I killed him? Tell me the truth, do you? You think I murdered Davis?
Yeah, I think you did.
Uh-huh. Well, then you know as well as I do. There's only one way to prove it.
Yeah.
Find his body.
1:15 p.m. Ben and I took Henry Ross out and fed him some lunch. Then we took him back to the city hall to the interrogation room where we continued to question him. He was relaxed and he talked a great deal about everything but the disappearance of Paul Davis. He didn't seem anxious to get away, made no demands for an attorney to represent him. For a full hour, he did most of the talking. He told us about the different homicide cases he'd read up on. He asked us about the 12 men who disappeared in the past months in the same manner Paul Davis had. Was there any trace of them at all? Did we have any leads? How did we think we were going to find them? Well, we finally got around to asking him if he'd submit to a lie detector test. He seemed taken by the idea and agreed to it almost immediately. Ben called Sergeant Berger and made arrangements for the test. We made up a list of key questions. At 5 p.m., we took the suspect to the third floor of the old city jail where Sergeant Berger gave him the polygraph test. On the way back to the office, Ross complained he was hungry. We stopped and bought him coffee and donuts. We got back to the interrogation room a little after 6 p.m. The questioning continued. Ross didn't seem to mind at all. He kept talking. We let him talk. 8 p.m., he was still going strong.
You remember the Wilson case back in 34, don't you, Sergeant? Woman killed her whole family. Big case, you remember.
Yeah, It's pretty tragic.
Is that a hobby of yours, Henry, collecting murder stories?
No, I just read them, remember 'em. I guess I can remember every big murder case in the last 15 years.
That's so.
Yeah, just about all of them. I guess it is kind of a hobby. I get a big kick out of it.
I get it, Ben. Excuse me, Henry.
Oh, sure.
Interrogation room, Friday. Oh, yeah, Berger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how many? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You know, there's one thing I get a real big kick out of, those detective magazines. Mystery stories, the way they make out the murderer.
How do you mean?
You know, they always build it up into something big. Somebody's always killing somebody else for $1 million. Maybe over some woman, some beautiful woman. Same way with the movies. That's where they get it all mixed up.
I don't think I follow you, Henry.
Oh, sure you do. Every time some guy writes a murder story, he's got to build up a big reason for the killing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of money, beautiful woman, revenge maybe. Always got to be a big reason. Motive, that's what they say.
Yeah, well, it generally works out that way, doesn't it?
Why? I bet you there's a 1,000 murder cases in your files without any reason at all. Some people kill, that's all. I've heard about lots of them. They just want to kill, and they go ahead and do it. Maybe for a few bucks, maybe for nothing. They just do it, that's all.
That's all.
Sure, you know that. Like this thing you've been talking about. 10, 12 guys disappear. They got a few bucks, maybe they got nothing. Somebody plows them under, and that's all. No big reason. They just do it. So 12 guys are gone. It doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm. That's how you got it figured out, Henry.
Huh?
The phone call a minute ago there was a man who gave you the lie detector test.
Oh, that right? How'd it go?
He just finished going over your graph. He got 16 positive reactions.
Yeah, what's that mean?
You lied, Henry, 16 times.
That's right. You better tell him to get a new machine. I lied all the way through.
Mind telling us why?
No, I don't mind. I guess I knew you'd find out. Let's go get something to eat first, though. I'm hungry.
No, we better talk a little more, Henry.
Well, let's go. I'll tell you why we're eating. Bring a pencil with you. I'll draw you a map.
Map of what?
The canyon, where I buried it.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to tonight's authentic case history.
Here, step by step, are the actual reasons why Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette. Why in Fatima the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest domestic and Turkish varieties, extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, round, perfect cigarettes. Rolled in the finest paper money can buy. Manufactured in the newest and most modern of all cigarette factories.
Quality even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Insist on Fatima. Start enjoying the quality king-size cigarette. Fatima, best of all long cigarettes.
Wednesday, 9:55 p.m. Ben and I took Henry Ross across the street, bought him a Coke at Mac's place, and we took him next door to the Melbourne cafeteria. It was almost closing time. Ross got himself a cottage cheese and pineapple salad, bacon and liver with onions, rye bread, banana pie, and coffee. Ben had a hot beef sandwich, mashed potatoes, and coffee. I had the same. At the back of the cafeteria, one of the busboys was mopping the tile floor. There was a strong smell of disinfectant.
How about that table over there, Sergeant? That all right with you?
Yeah, it's okay. Doesn't make any difference.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you want some water?
Yeah.
Henry?
Yeah, please.
All right, I'll get some.
Oh, boy, living onions. That sure smells great, huh?
Yeah. I can't take those onions so well. They repeat on me.
Not me. I can eat anything.
Salt and pepper?
Yeah, thanks. Boy, I'm sure hungry. I haven't eaten much today. Did you get a sandwich made with rye bread?
Graham bread.
Oh, you should have gotten the rye. Real German rye bread. Here. Smell that. Real nice and fresh. Here you go, Ben.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, thank you. You know, all that talk really sharpened up my appetite. Boy, this food tastes good.
Mm-hmm. Sugar, Joe?
Yeah, thanks.
We brought a pencil along, Henry. You want us to start taking notes?
As good as time as any, I guess. You know, the whole thing just comes right back to what I was trying to tell you there in the office.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, you know, all about those phony mystery stories.
Oh, yeah.
Every time there's trouble, there's a big reason behind it. It's phony, that's all.
Yeah?
Sure, this Paul Davis, for instance. I guess I knew you'd find me out. I knew this morning when you picked me up. You had it figured. Must have been a big job, huh? Finding me?
Mm-hmm. Pretty big, Henry, you know. A lot of mileage. How'd it happen?
Well, there again. Just like I was saying. There's no big reason behind it. I needed a few bucks, and this Davis came along. I guess he was it. Hey, pass me a ketchup, will you?
Oh, yeah. Here you are.
I'll get the lid off there.
There you go.
Thanks.
Where'd you meet Davis, Henry?
Oh, I was hitchhiking out in Ventura. I'm not a dime in my jeans. I was going up to Maricopa. I thought I had a job up there, and this Davis come along. Picked me up.
Mm-hmm. You ever know him before that?
No, a stranger. He said he's going to Oakdale. The guy give me a ride.
Go ahead.
Well, we stopped for gas at San Fernando, and I saw he had a few bucks in his wallet, and I guess that's when I got the idea.
About what?
Killing him. Now, maybe that gives you an idea what I was talking about. You don't need any big reason to kill somebody. Davis said 18 bucks. Now, suppose I told that to a writer. Somebody killing the guy for 18 bucks. That wouldn't make much sense, huh? He'd tell you it'd never sell. You need $1 million, beautiful woman, good motive.
Yeah. Where'd you kill him, Henry?
Just outside of Bakersfield. Little canyon there. I got Davis to buy a fifth of sherry in Bakersfield. He drank some on the way. Hey, pass the salt, huh?
Yeah. There you are.
Thanks. Liver's no good without plenty of salt.
How'd you kill Davis, Henry?
Well, that's a funny thing. He drank some of the wine, got a little sleepy. I was just outside of Bakersfield. Dark by that time. I spotted this little canyon. I figured it's as good a place as any.
Well?
So I guess him pull off to a side road and had a few more drinks. I spotted this little shack out there in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly where was this, Henry?
Well, I can show you. It's maybe 2 miles north of Bakersfield. We got to the shack, finished the wine, and went to sleep.
Both of you?
Mm-hmm. And that's where the funny part comes in. I guess I killed Davis, all right. But I didn't mean it. Oh, brother, get a whiff of that, huh? Why do these monks have to mop up while people are eating?
They'll be through in a minute, Henry.
Fine.
How'd you mean Henry didn't mean to kill him? You already told us you had the idea.
Well, sure I had the idea. Let me explain, huh? We both went to sleep in the shack, Davis and me. Guess that must have been, about 9 o'clock at night. I don't know what it was. Maybe the wine, I guess, but I started having nightmares.
Hmm?
Yeah, now maybe this part sounds like a story, but it's the truth. I had all these dreams. I woke up, but they're still there.
What was that?
Faces. Faces. That's all I could see. It was full of faces. And I guess I was really still asleep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I picked up a 2x4 and started swinging at them, their faces. Funny thing, too, I knew every one of these faces.
How do you mean?
People I killed. There were only a dozen of them, really, but it seemed like there were 100 of them all around in the air. Well, I grabbed that 2x4 and I started swinging. I was cold and sweating all at the same time, and I kept on swinging. And I saw Davis's face, and I swung hard, kept swinging. Didn't even make a sound. His eyes closed, kept on swinging at his head. Well, I come to, there he was, lying on the floor. Seemed to take those other faces away. They didn't bother me after I killed Davis.
What'd you do with him, Henry?
Oh, pulled him outside the shack, dug a hole and buried him. Burned his clothes, took his car and money, and drove off. I'll show you if you like where I buried him, I mean.
How about these other men, Ross? These faces you saw.
Hmm? Oh. What if I get a little more coffee? Huh? It's all gone.
I'll get it. Joe?
No, thanks. None for me. What about it, Ross? The other men?
Well, I don't recall them too well. It's what you said in the office. 10 or 12 of them. A couple in Sacramento, the others down through the valley. Like I say, there was no big reason for killing them. It just happened that way, that's all.
What'd you do with them, you remember?
Generally, yeah. There's one of them that stands out. Guy by the name of Slattery, some kind of salesman, a real crybaby.
Where'd this happen?
No, he picked me up in his car outside of Chowchilla. It's nighttime. He must be feeling pretty good. I made him stop on a side road. I hit him with a piece of angle iron. He cried like a baby. Buried him in a field there. He is. One of the faces that I saw. That's funny, huh? It shows you how psychology works, huh?
Yeah, what'd you do with his car? Slattery's, I mean.
Drove it down to Mexico and sold it there. Guess that's what I should have done with Davis's car.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, thanks.
These killings of yours, you got any more you want to tell us about?
Well, I told you already. 10 or 12 of them. They're pretty much the same.
When was the first one?
Oh, maybe 18 months, 2 years ago. first one wasn't any harder than the last. It's just like I was telling you before.
Yeah?
Everybody builds up murder. It's supposed to be a big thing, hard to do, all those phony stories. I'd just hit a guy a couple of times or something. That'd be it, a real small thing. Didn't change me any. That's why I say it's all built up.
You ever been treated for any mental sickness, Ross?
No, why?
You ever been examined by a psychiatrist?
No.
After you killed these men, did it bother you at all?
I'm just that wondering. Time I was with Davis. That's about it. Sure, good meal, Sergeant. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. You ready, Ben?
Let's go. We go back upstairs, huh?
Yeah. Do you want to give us a statement?
All right. I had an idea you'd find me. I guess I always knew that you'd find me.
Well, let's go, Henry.
Guess I proved my point anyway, huh? It's all built up. Huh? Murder. Killing somebody. Those phony stories. It's all built up. It's cheap.
No, you got it wrong, Henry.
Huh?
Wait till they read you the bill.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On January 7th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 86, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, the makers of Fatima have done everything possible to produce the kind of cigarette you want, just as we on Dragnet try to bring you the kind of entertainment you want. In my honest opinion, Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes. But frankly, my opinion doesn't count because Fatimas must please you. That's why I suggest you buy a pack of Fatimas tomorrow so you can prove to yourself that Fatimas are extra mild with a rich, better flavor and aroma. You'll find Fatima now costs the same as other long cigarettes. And I'm convinced that you'll discover what I did. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
Henry Ellsworth Ross was tried and found guilty on 2 counts of murder in the first degree and received the death sentence. While he indicated that he had murdered the other 10 men, he refused to give any further information regarding the killings or what he had done with the bodies. Ross was executed in the lethal gas chamber at the State Penitentiary, San Quentin, California. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Now more excitement with Counter Spy on NBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, Crime Prevention Week, now being observed nationally, is designed for one purpose: to emphasize that crime is your personal enemy. It costs money and lives. It weakens the moral and physical strength of your community. Show your respect for the law by cooperating with your police officer 52 weeks a year. Join the fight to stamp out crime, the ally of treason.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to bunco detail. A husband and wife confidence team has shifted operations to your city. Their criminal record dates back 17 years. They're masters in the art of swindling. Your job? Get 'em. You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest domestic and Turkish tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima,
The difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all, long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, April 20th. It was windy in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of bunco detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain McCauley. My name's Friday. We were on the way out from the office, and it was 10:35 a.m. when we got to the Holy Gospel Tabernacle, the pastor's house.
Look at that palm tree.
Yeah.
Windstorm sure didn't do it any good.
Well, it was really blowing last night. Woke me up a couple of times.
Yeah, not me. I slept like a baby. What'd you say the name here was, Olson?
Yeah, got it right here. Reverend Andrew Olson.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem to be anybody at home. I'll try it again.
Mm-hmm.
No?
We said on the phone he'd either be here or at the church.
Where's that?
Just around the corner, faces on South Spring.
Not a very wealthy-looking neighborhood.
It must be the church up there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Sure could stand a coat of paint.
Grounds are well kept, aren't they? Nice flower bed.
Look at that. Giant pansies. Tried some in the backyard last year. Too bad.
What do you mean?
Giant snails. Sliced them right off at the roots.
Guess that must be him up at the front, huh? Better close the door, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Excuse me, sir?
Oh, didn't see you.
You the Reverend Olson?
Yes, can I help you?
My name's Friday, Reverend. I talked to you on the phone.
Oh, yes, Sergeant.
And this is my partner, Sergeant Romero.
How do you do?
Oh, yeah, that nice.
Sergeant Merrill?
No, that's Romero, Reverend.
Oh, excuse me, Romero. Didn't expect you so soon. A little busy here fixing the pulpit. It happened last Sunday.
What's that, Reverend?
Guess I got carried away with my sermon. Quite a commotion.
Oh?
I leaned forward in the pulpit. This whole section here just splintered and broke right off. Ruined my whole sermon. Well, I can finish this up later. Have a chair there, officers.
No, yeah,
Thank you very much.
Well, there it is, Sergeant. The names, descriptions. Mr. and Mrs. Tom Herbert. That's the name they used, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Would you mind briefing us on how it happened, Reverend? When did you first meet this couple?
He came to us a little over a month ago. Didn't have any reason to be suspicious. Mr. Herbert showed me some fine references. I didn't think it was necessary to check them.
What kind of approach did they use? Could you tell us?
Well, the first visit, Mrs. Herbert did most of the talking. She told me she and her husband wanted to write a history of our church. It was supposed to be part of an historical book on all the churches in the county. Naturally, I felt a little flattered about it.
Mm-hmm. Did this Mr. and Ms. Herbert make any demands for money or to write about your church, I mean?
Oh, no. There was no money involved at first. They said all they wanted was our cooperation in doing some of the research work. You know, looking up dates, names, things like that.
Oh, I see.
They seemed very sincere, both of them. Didn't drink, smoke. They worked very hard doing research and writing. I don't know why they had to change. Would have been nice having history written about our church.
Yes, sir. When did they first bring up the idea of money?
Well, Mr. Herbert came to me one day and showed me this letter. It was supposed to be from the people who were going to publish the history of our church. The letter said, well, because of certain business reasons, the whole thing was off. They couldn't publish the book. Mr. Herbert acted very sorry.
Mm-hmm. Did he leave that letter with you, Reverend?
No, he took it with him.
Oh.
I felt badly about the whole thing. They're doing all that work and then the book not being published.
Mm-hmm. Well, did the Herberts broach the idea of you and the church putting up the money to print the book?
Well, no, not exactly, but I guess they gave me the idea.
How do you mean?
They suggested that I talk it over with the church board, so I did. We all agreed it'd be a shame to give up the idea of the book after so much work had gone into it.
Is that when you agreed to finance the book?
Well, the board and I did, yes. It's all my fault, though. I helped to persuade them.
And the money came out of church funds, is that it?
As a matter of fact, it didn't. We only have a small operating fund, so you can see we're a small church. The congregation isn't wealthy.
And where'd the money come from, sir?
Well, for one thing, the ladies of the Altar Society put on a Sunday afternoon ham dinner. It made some money, and then the Herberts suggested we help sell advertising to pay part of the cost, so we did that, too. It still wasn't enough.
Well, exactly how much did you turn over to the Herberts?
$804.61. I had to borrow $350 from the bank to make it. It'll all have to be paid back. People who paid for their advertising, too. It'll all have to come out of our pocket. It's a terrible thing.
Yes, sir, it is.
Terrible. I don't know what I'm going to do. Hate to ask the congregation for it. Their offerings have always been so generous, and they're not wealthy either, just working people.
Well, when was the last time that you heard from this Mr. and Mrs. Herbert, Reverend?
A week ago, I guess. Yes, it was last Monday. I got anxious and called them at their hotel. It's on South Grand. I can give you the address. They told me when the books would be ready. It said it would be on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last I heard of them.
No forwarding address, no other place that you think we might find them?
No, I'm sorry. Just don't have any idea. It's so hard to believe anyone would do such a thing to us.
Yes, sir. I wonder if we could have the address of their hotel.
Yes, all right. If you'll come with me, I have it over at the house.
Did Mr. and Ms. Herbert have a car, do you know, Reverend?
I don't think so. If they did, I never saw it. I know what I'm going to tell the congregation. $800, that's a lot of money to our people.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, Sergeant. I don't mean to be uncharitable, but Mr. and Mrs. Herbert, do they have a criminal record? Have they done this sort of thing before?
Well, their descriptions seem to fit a couple that we've been looking for. They've been working the churches in this area on and off for a couple of years now.
Can't understand why they do such a thing. It's almost like robbing a poor box.
Yes, sir, they've done that, too. 11:15 a.m. We went back to the city hall and pulled the package on the suspects, Mr. and Mrs. Tom Herbert. They were a veteran man and wife confidence team who'd worked the Los Angeles area and other large cities around the country. Their specialty seemed to be swindling churches and clergymen. Over a period of 17 years, they piled up a long record involving frauds and various bunco games, but they'd only been brought to trial once. The case had been dismissed for lack of sufficient evidence. 11:35 a.m. We took mug shots of Mr. and Mrs. Herbert out to the Reverend Olson, and he identified them. We checked the hotel on South Grand where they'd been staying. No leads. We got out a local broadcast and an APB on them. Together with the sheriff's office, we sent a special bulletin about the Herberts to the pastors of the different churches in the city and county. From the list of names on the mama sheet, we began checking out all the known friends and relatives of the suspects. One of them was a Clyde Harris, proprietor of a physical culture school out in the Wilshire district. 1 p.m. Tuesday, we drove out to talk to him.
Which way, Joe?
Right down the street, the blue and white sign there.
Oh, yeah. Venus School of Physical Culture. I can make you an all-American girl, Clyde Harris, manager. Looks like the office here.
No, we're supposed to meet him in the gym. That's next door.
Oh.
Yeah, here. No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Back this way, I guess.
All right, now. Once again, please. All together. With me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend, bend, pull, down. Extend, bend, pull, down. With me, please. 3, 4. Mrs. Allison. Pull, down. 1, 2, pull, down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend, bend, pull, down. Hold it a minute.
Hold it a minute. No, I'm sorry, Mrs. Collison. You're doing it wrong. Your pelvis is all out of position.
Excuse me, are you Clyde Harris?
Yes, did you want something?
Police officer, Mr. Harris. Like to talk to you?
Oh, yeah, sir. Could you hold on half a minute?
Sure, go right ahead.
Francis, would you take over here for a few minutes? I have to talk to these gentlemen. Ladies, Francis is going to count for you for a while. You go right ahead with the lesson. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Back here, officer.
Won't take too long, will it?
No, sir, just a few minutes. Sorry to interrupt your lesson.
Oh, that's all right. I just don't want to have the ladies thinking I neglect them. They pay good money for these exercises.
Yeah.
Here you are. Have a chair.
Thank you.
Well, you said something about Tom Herbert on the phone, Sergeant. What's it all about?
Well, we understand that you're a friend of the Herberts, Mr. Harris.
Yeah, I knew Tom and Doris a couple of years back. Haven't seen much of them lately.
When was the last time you saw him?
Let's see. Must be 2-3 months anyway. Anything wrong?
Well, do you know where we could locate him?
I don't know for sure. Last time I saw them, they were at a hotel downtown in South Grand, I think. Yeah, South Grand right near Pico.
You have no idea where they moved when they left there?
No, I didn't even know they'd moved.
They haven't phoned or contacted you at all in the last month or so?
No, not a word. They're not in a jam again, are they?
We'd like to talk to them, that's all. Would you know of any of their favorite spots around town, eating, drinking places?
No, I don't think I could say. They got around quite a bit. You checked with some of their other friends around town, the Pattons, the Thompson, Mike Runyon?
What was that last one?
Mike Runyon. Very good friend of the Herberts.
Ben?
No, I don't recall the name.
Well, how could we get in touch with this Runyon, Mr. Harris?
He's got a phone. Come out in the office. We'll call him if you like.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'll get Mike on the line for you, introduce you.
Would you mind talking to him, Harris? Don't tell him it's for us. Just ask if he knows where the Herberts are. Would you mind?
Yeah, all right. No answer. Maybe. Hello, Mike? Clyde Harris, Mike. Yeah, how are you? Fine. Fine? Yeah, a long time. Say, Mike, you any idea where Tom and Doris Herbert are? Mm-hmm. Is that right? How about that, huh? You don't. No, that's okay. It's not important. Sure thing, Mike. Make it soon, huh? Right. Goodbye.
Yeah?
No, he doesn't know where the Herberts are staying. Saw him a week ago out in Hollywood, though. Says they're doing fine.
How do you mean?
Ran into him outside that big church on Hollywood Boulevard. They told Mike all about it. They really got religion.
That's so?
Yeah. They're even writing a book about the church.
We called back Mike Runyon, the friend of the suspect, and he gave us the location of the church where he'd seen Mr. and Mrs. Herbert. Ben and I drove out there and talked to the pastor, Reverend John Kenworth. We showed him the Herberts mugshots, and he identified them. They were going under the name of Williams, and supposedly they were writing a book about the history of the church. To cover publishing expenses and research, more than $1,000 from parish contributions had been placed in a separate account at a local bank. Reverend Kenworth told us that it was a special joint account, and the Herberts had access to it. Ben got on the phone and called the bank.
How's that? Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Yeah, all right, thank you.
What'd they say?
The two of them were in the bank yesterday. They didn't draw out everything.
How much did they leave?
$3.
Ben and I checked with the teller at the bank and showed him mugshots of Mr. and Ms. Herbert. He identified them as the couple who'd withdrawn the church funds. We went to the hotel address the suspects had given to Reverend Kenworth. They'd checked out 2 days before. The search went on. 2 weeks passed. We ran out of leads. No further reports on the couple. A month went by. Tuesday, May 23rd. We got an APB from San Francisco on a couple answering the Herbert's description. They were still working the church angle. During the next 6 weeks, we got reports on them from Washington, Oregon, Nevada, and Northern California. In Sacramento, they apparently changed their M.O. for the first time. They started selling phony health insurance policies. They promised everything, and they had a lot of takers. One of the big selling points was a clause which promised full protection if anybody in the family should come down with polio. From Sacramento, they headed south to Oakland and then to Fresno. On July 10th, the complaints started to come in, and we knew the Herberts had moved into Los Angeles with their health insurance racket. One of the first victims was a Carl Fogarty. He lived out in the Westlake area.
There's a policy they gave me, Sergeant. Apex Health Insurance. Not worth the paper it's printed on.
When did they sell you this, Mr. Fogarty? You remember?
3 weeks ago, I guess. Never would have known it was phony if my boy hadn't come down with polio.
How's he getting along?
Not too good. Right leg. He's got it bad there. It's not as if we don't have enough grief. We got to lose out on this bum insurance.
You mind if I take a look at that policy, sir?
No. Go ahead. Here you are.
Yeah, same outfit, Joe. Apex Health Insurance. Same phony address.
Yeah. Would you remember the man who sold you this, do you think?
I think I would, yeah.
I wonder if you'd mind looking through these pictures, Mr. Fogarty.
Mm-hmm. Not at all.
Look at them carefully, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one. That's him. I remember. Who's he?
His name's Herbert. When he came in to tell you this policy, was he alone?
Yeah, he was. Had a real good sales talk.
How much did you pay for the insurance?
Let's see. $43 and some odd cents. I remember that because I cashed in my war bond, and I took $5 out of the rent money.
Outside of this policy here, you have no other papers that the man might have given you?
No, nothing but this business card here. He gave me that. You see here, the same name, Apex Health Insurance.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Fogarty. We hope your little boy goes out of it all right.
Yeah, thanks.
Here's our cards, huh? If there's anything we can do, give us a call.
Sure, okay.
About time we check the office, huh?
I think so. Do you have a phone here, Mr. Fogarty?
Oh, yes, Sergeant. Straight back in the hall there. Help yourself.
Thank you very much. $2572. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Fred. Joe Friday. Anything for us in the book? West 7th. Yeah, okay. Right. Thanks, Fred.
Anything doing?
It looks pretty good. Office got a call from a printing shop out on West 7th. The manager's got an order he's not too sure about.
How do you mean?
It's for a batch of letterhead stationery, business cards.
Yeah? For who?
Apex Health Insurance.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to tonight's authentic case history. Here, step by step, are the actual reasons why Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette. Why in Fatima the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest domestic and Turkish varieties, extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma. Quality of manufacture. Smooth, round, perfect cigarettes. Rolled in the finest paper money can buy. Manufactured in the newest and most modern of all cigarette factories. Quality even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor. Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes. What your first puff will tell you.
That's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Insist on Fatima. Start enjoying the quality king-size cigarette. Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
Wednesday, July 10th, 4 p.m. Ben and I drove back downtown to the printing shop on West 7th Street and talked with the manager. He told us that the order for stationery and business cards for the Apex Health Insurance Company had been placed 2 days before. He said he'd become suspicious after reading a story in one of the newspapers about the polio insurance fraud. He also said that the customer who'd ordered the stuff was a woman. She told him that she would call and pick up the order on Friday. We showed the manager a handful of mug shots. He could give us only a partial identification of Mrs. Herbert's picture. We called the office, told them we were going on stakeouts, and arranged for a release. Ben and I spent the rest of Wednesday and all day Thursday and Friday in the rear of the print shop, where we could keep an eye on everyone entering the place. Friday, 6 p.m. No sign of the Herberts. Not a trace. Saturday, the same. No sign of either one of them. Monday, more waiting. The suspect stayed away. Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. I went out the rear door, went down the street and got some cigarettes, and then I headed back for the print shop.
Ben? Keep your coat on, Joe. Just called the office for a release.
Why, what's doing?
That Clyde Harris, friend of the Herberts, the guy who runs the physical culture school.
Yeah, what about him?
He called the office, wanted to talk to us. I phoned him out there at the gym.
Yeah?
He told me he was out drinking last night, and he met Mrs. Herbert at a bar. She was alone.
Did he tell you where to find her?
The Greenwood apartment, 603.
When the relief men arrived, Ben and I left and drove across town to the Greenwood Apartments on Taylor Street. It was a 3-story frame building set back from the sidewalk behind a sloping lawn lined with a box hedge. We checked the names on the mailboxes. The name T.J. Bronson was listed for apartment 603. We rang, but there was no answer.
Better try the manager, huh?
Yeah.
It's a nice place. Insurance racket must be paying off for him.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Can I help you?
Yes, are you the manager here?
That's right. Thatcher's my name. Can I help you?
Police officers, Mr. Thatcher. We're trying to locate the thief in 603.
Oh, that crazy woman tried to blow up the place last night.
Why, what do you mean?
Mrs. Bronson, she came in drunk about 2 a.m. No sense at all. About 3 a.m., the folks from 601 called me and they said they smelled gas. I went up there and found her in the kitchenette. Out like a light gas stove turned on, going full blast. Crazy.
Where's her husband?
Couldn't say, chasing around again, I think. Hasn't been home in a week. Lucky I got to that gas before somebody lit a match.
You say it happened about 3 this morning?
That's right. Crazy woman. She'll be all right, too.
Where's she now, do you know?
Yeah, County Hospital.
4:25 p.m. Ben and I got in touch with the office and arranged for a stakeout at the Herbert's apartment. We called homicide and checked on the attempt suicide report. They informed us that the woman had been taken to the psycho ward, County Hospital. We went over to the hospital, checked at the main desk, and identified ourselves. The nurse on duty had us shown to the ward where the suspect, Doris Herbert, was confined. She was a halfway attractive woman in her late 40s. Short, bleach blonde hair, dark eyes with deep circles under them. She turned and looked up as we stopped beside her bed.
Excuse me. You Doris Herbert? Is your name Doris Herbert?
Who do you want?
Police officers would like to talk to you for a minute.
I knew you'd be around. I don't care.
Ma'am?
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the whole rotten thing. I knew you'd come.
I just have a few questions, ma'am. It won't take long.
Go ahead. I don't care. Did you find him yet?
You mean your husband?
He's not my husband. Not anymore. Him and that cheap girl behind my back sneaking around. 20 years we've been happy and he throws me away.
Where's your husband now, Miss Herbert?
With her. He's been with her a week. He doesn't even care I'm here. 20 years ago he cared. I found him, taught him something. I taught him everything he knows.
This girl that your husband's with, where does she stay, do you know?
Yeah, an apartment. It's on Franklin, right on the corner of Franklin and Laurel. You were close, weren't you? You knew it was us.
What's this girl's name?
Marie Daly. I saw her with him. Tell me something.
Yeah?
You know it was us, Tom and me, the insurance?
Yeah, we knew it was you.
I didn't like it. It wasn't a clean game. Tom's idea. He made money, but I didn't like it. It wasn't clean.
All right, Miss Herbert, we'll talk to you later.
No, not me. I'm going to die. I'm going to die and forget all about it. You just be sure and get him, won't you, Tom? I tell him everything he knows. Get him.
You're sure about the address?
Yeah, I'm sure. Tell me something. Why do you have to do it to me? Throwing me away, lying, taking that cheap girl. Why'd you do it to me?
Well, you ought to have an idea.
Huh?
You taught him everything he knows. Before we left the hospital, we made arrangements to have Doris Herbert transferred to the prison ward. 5 p.m. We drove out to the apartment house at Franklin and Laurel and checked with the landlady. She told us that Tom Herbert's girlfriend, Marie Daly, had checked out of her apartment the day before. She said the Daly girl had a middle-aged man with her. We showed the landlady Herbert's mugshot, and she identified him as that man. She had no forwarding address on her, but she did remember the name of the express truck that called to pick up the Daly girl's baggage. We checked with the express company and found that the trunks had been taken to the Lockheed Air Terminal. We started calling the airlines. 6:30 p.m. We finally got a report that a man answering Tom Herbert's description had booked passage for 2 on a flight to Mexico City. The plane was scheduled to leave at 8:35 that night. Ben and I drove out to the airport and went on stakeout. 8:15 p.m. We waited. 8:20. No sign of them.
United Airlines mainliner flight 649 from Denver and intermediate cities. Now,
Getting a little late, huh?
Yeah, it's 8:24. They're cutting it close.
Going in the bar, Joe. Take a look.
Yeah, that's them. Let's go.
Not hard to spot. What's the matter with the girl?
Looks pretty drunk. All right, come on.
Bourbon and water, huh, Marie? Is that what you want?
Why, yeah.
Haven't got much time. We don't want to miss that plane.
We won't miss it.
You Tom Herbert?
Yes, what is it?
Police officers like to talk to you downtown.
Just a minute. This must be some kind of mistake.
No mistake, Herbert. We talked to your wife. Let's go.
Where's the Tom? What do they want?
Nothing. It's a mistake. Now, look, officers, I don't know what this is all about, but we have to get a plane, the 835. I can't go downtown with you.
Can't we talk it over here? I'm sure we can straighten this out.
Your wife copped out, Herbert. Now let's make it easy, huh?
Come on, lady.
What's he talking about, Tom? A wife? What does he mean?
I told you it's a mistake. Now be reasonable, huh, officer? All we want to do is take a trip. We've been planning on this. New clothes, new luggage.
Here's your hat. Our car's outside.
It's a mistake. You can't do this. We planned on it. We've been waiting a long time for this.
Yes, sir, so have we. Come on, let's go.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent. On October 28th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 88, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial. Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, each week we're honored with letters from listeners all over the country. Letters telling us that you've bought Fatimas and you find them the best of all long cigarettes. Well, thanks to you and the many thousands of other smokers who have switched to Fatimas, I'm happy to report that more people are now enjoying Fatimas than ever before. January sales figures just released show that in the East, Fatima sales are up 56%. In the Middle West, sales up 133%. And here on the coast, Fatima shows an increase of 68%. Well, that means Fatima sales are up nearly 70% all over the country. Now, if you haven't yet discovered Fatima's much different, much better flavor and aroma, I suggest that you buy a pack tomorrow. When you do, I'm convinced you'll agree with Fatima smokers everywhere. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
Mr. and Mrs. Tom Herbert were tried and convicted on several counts of grand theft. They are now confined in the state penitentiary for the term prescribed by law. Grand theft is punishable by confinement for not less than 1 nor more than 10 years. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
David Harding, Counter Spy, solves an exciting case next on NBC.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to narcotics detail. A band of dope peddlers launches a full-scale operation in your city. Their merchandise, marijuana. Their victims, high school students. Your job, get them.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, April 11th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of narcotics detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Kearney. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from R&I, and it was 10:25 a.m. when I got to Central Station. Narcotics detail.
Joe?
Hi. What'd you find out?
Talked to the coroner. He finished posting the body.
Yeah?
Cause of death, multiple fractures of the skull, internal injury. Boy was 17 years old. You checked the car?
Yeah, the kid must have been doing at least 70 when he hit that street light. It's a real mess. The car was really wound around that pole.
We're going to have to dig up a fast answer somewhere. Lousy racket.
Well, there's only one way to burn it out. Find the big man and throw the book at him. Make him an example we'll never forget, huh?
You checked with Juvenile Bureau?
Yeah, the evidence has been booked with the property clerk. How about the boy's parents?
Mrs. Moore wasn't feeling too well. They drove her home. Father's still down the hall, Inspector Walker's office.
Can we talk to him now?
Yeah, he should be free by now. Let me check the book.
I already did. There's no call.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. You know, there's only one thing fortunate about this whole thing.
What do you mean?
Well, the kid being alone when he cracked up would have been a slaughter if he had a car full of his friends with him.
Yeah, it's still pretty grim.
How's the boy's father taking it?
Usual, pretty rough. He should be able to help some.
Yeah.
Mr. Morrow?
Yes, Sergeant. Inspector asked me to wait here for you.
Yes, sir. This is my partner, Sergeant Friday. Mr. Morrow, Joe.
How do you do, Mr. Friday? I just don't understand it, Sergeant. I don't understand any of it. My boy Ken wasn't the type to go racing around like that in the car. He never took the car without my permission. I just don't know what got into him.
Had you noticed at all whether your boy was acting a little strange the last few weeks or so?
No. Of course, I only saw Ken in the morning, a few hours in the evening. I'm at the office all day. Why do you ask that?
Well, was he going out very often on school nights, or keeping odd or unusual hours?
He used to go to the library 3 or 4 nights a week to do his schoolwork. Got home about midnight a few times, and I warned him about that.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any way of knowing if he was really spending his nights at the library?
No, but I took his word for it. Ken didn't lie to me. What's this have to do with the auto accident, Sergeant? I don't think I understand.
The officers investigating the accident, sir. They checked over the car afterward.
What was it? Were the brakes bad? What did they find?
You?
Yeah. Well, you see this small metal case? We found it in the front seat on the floor of the car.
What's that stuff inside? Did this belong to Ken?
Yes, sir. We think he was using it.
What for?
I don't know. It's marijuana. Men and women who traffic in narcotics all the way from the small-time peddler to the big wholesaler are rated among the lowest kind of criminal. One step lower, you find an even more vicious kind. Those who lure youngsters into the deadly trap of narcotics, who feed on the nickels and dimes by supplying their young victims with dope. The death of 17-year-old Kenneth Morrow was the second of its kind within 8 months. It seemed to stem from unidentified suspects who were making it their business to build a thriving marijuana trade among high school students. Thursday, 11 a.m. We continued to question the dead boy's father, Thomas Morrow, but he couldn't tell us anything further that might help. Friday, April 12th. We checked with the principal of the high school which the Morrow boy attended. We talked to the boy's teachers and checked his school record. His marks had been above average till about 3 months before when they began to fall off for no apparent reason. We got a list of most of the boy's friends from his teachers, and we started checking them out. One was a 16-year-old blonde girl, Peggy Kane, supposedly Kenneth Morrow's girlfriend. We found her waiting outside the music room.
Yes, Ken and I went around together for a while. He was a real nice boy.
Did you see each other quite a bit, Peggy?
Oh, for about 5 or 6 months, yes, we got along fine. Just after Christmas was the last time I went out with him, and we double dated.
Mm-hmm. Did he seem all right to you then? I mean, did he act different at all?
Well, a little different, yes. Not silly, you know. He just wasn't like he used to be.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, he didn't talk the same. Ken was a real nice boy most of the time. I guess he started getting in with the wrong crowd. He began to swear, you know, bad talk, things like that.
When did all this start, Peggy? Do you remember?
Just before Christmas, I think. I'm not sure. Poor Ken.
Is there anything else you might have noticed?
I don't know. Ken used to be pretty good about his studies, and all of a sudden it seemed he just didn't care. Sometimes he'd come into the library. We used to study there. He'd make a lot of noise. Just changed, that's all. After a while, we didn't see each other there anymore.
Well, why was that, Peggy?
We just didn't come down. I called his house a couple of times. His folks said he was at the library. I didn't say anything to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, did Ken have many friends here at school? Do you know that?
Not many, no.
I see. Well, those he did have, who would you say was closer to him?
Well, gee, I don't know, Sergeant. There were half a dozen of them. Ken used to be with all of them.
No one boy in particular.
Well, Bob Lavelle, maybe. I saw Ken in Bob's car a few times.
Does Lavelle go to school here?
Yes, he's a senior. Ken used to work with Bob down in the cafeteria after school, but he got in a mix-up. He was fired.
Bob was fired?
No, Ken.
Oh.
He was rude to one of the ladies down there who does the cooking. Bob still works there.
Would he be at the cafeteria now, do you know?
Yes, I think so. The fountain's open until about 3:30.
And you think that this Bob Lavelle was about the closest friend that Ken had, huh?
I think so. The only one I know, anyway. Have you talked to Ken's folks?
Yeah, we have.
I feel so sorry for him. Gee, I think I have to go now, Sergeant. I have a chemistry class.
Just one more question, Peggy. Last time you went out with Ken on this double date, who was the other couple? Do you remember?
I don't remember their names. They were some kids I never saw before. Ken knew them. It wasn't much of a date.
Mm-hmm. Where did you go?
We started for the show, but Ken changed his mind. He wanted to go to the beach and park. He was acting funny, talking all the time, saying silly things. The other boy was the same way.
Oh, were they drinking?
No, I never saw Ken take a drink. I couldn't smell any liquor on his breath. I don't know. It was such a silly thing.
What's that?
Well, maybe it's just my imagination, but Ken and this other boy had a real terrible musty smell about him. I kidded them about it, and they said they'd been to a tea party. That's where they got it. They kept talking silly like that all evening.
I see. Was the musty smell all over the car or just on the boy?
All over. Kind of made me sick, but they didn't seem to mind it.
Well, look, I'd like you to think real careful, Peggy. Have you ever come across that musty smell on anybody around the school here?
Yes, I have. A couple of times. Makes me sick. What is it?
Who did you notice it on, Peggy?
Bob Lavelle.
Ben and I went back to the principal's office and checked the record on Robert Lavelle. He was 18 years old, and he was scheduled to graduate in June. The registrar told us that there was a good chance that he wouldn't be graduated because his marks had been poor for the better part of the year. They dropped even lower during the present semester. Lavelle had played football the year before and had made third string on the all-city team. He was well liked by his teachers. For the last 2 years, he'd worked part-time at the school soda fountain. We went down to interview him.
Nice setup, huh?
Yeah.
Cafeteria, soda fountain. Wasn't like that in my day.
That must be the boy there behind the counter.
Oh, yeah.
Let's sit down.
Mm-hmm. How about that, Joe?
What's that?
That sign hanging up there. Idiot Special. 5 scoops of ice cream, marshmallow, bananas, chocolate, strawberry flavoring, whipped cream topping, maraschino cherries, chopped nuts, and onion?
No, you're reading over. That's on the hamburger sign there.
Oh.
Yeah? You want something?
Chocolate soda. Could you make it with vanilla ice cream, please?
Chocolate soda with vanilla cream.
Are you Bob Lavelle?
Yeah, that's right.
Police officers, Bob. We'd like to talk to you.
Oh. Oh, I'm pretty busy right now. Got to clean up. We close in a few minutes. I'll make you soda right away. You say chocolate?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we'll make it brief. Did you know Ken Morrow, Bob?
Oh, yeah. He used to work here.
Did you spend much time with him? Outside of school, I mean?
Not much. Went to a couple of shows together. That's about all. I'm kind of rushed now.
When was the last time that you saw him? You remember?
A week ago, I guess. Too bad about Ken.
How about the night he was in the accident? Did you see him then?
No, I didn't run too well. He went around with a different crowd.
Mm-hmm.
They reached me a bag of those cashews, huh, Joe, on the card there?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, thanks. Want some? Quest?
No, no, thanks.
The nuts are a dime, officer.
Right there on the counter, Bob.
Oh, yeah. I got to get going as soon as I close. I have to get out of town.
We talked to some of Ken Morrow's friends around the school, Bob. They tell us that he used to drive around in your car with you quite a bit.
Just a couple of times around school.
And you hadn't been with him for about a week before the accident.
That's right. Just what I told you.
Mm-hmm.
You want a little whipped cream on that?
Yeah, Lou.
How about a cherry?
Good idea.
There you are.
Thank you. Too late to fix a hamburger?
Yeah, I really got to close up. It's getting a little late, officers. I'm going to have to close up right now.
Well, we'll make it fast. Did you notice anything different about the Morrow boy in the last few weeks? Anything peculiar at all?
No, he was the same as ever. I didn't notice anything.
Well, look, Bob, we're going to lay it out for you. Did you know he was using marijuana?
No, I didn't know anything about it.
Do you have any idea where he might have gotten it?
I wouldn't know that. Look, you mind if I lock up the counter now? I'll come around the other side.
Sure, go ahead.
I didn't know that about Ken, officer. I wouldn't know where he got the stuff. You sure he was using Mary?
Well, we found some in his car. We found some more in his locker upstairs.
That's tough.
Anything more, officer? I gotta hurry.
Well, it's just routine, Bob. We did the same with the other boys we talked to. We'd like to check your locker. You don't mind, do you?
I gotta get downtown. I'm late now.
Your locker's just upstairs, isn't it? Won't take that long.
It's important to me. I gotta get downtown.
We've got our car outside. We'll drive you down. We'll be down there in no time.
No, I've already got a ride. Can't you check it tomorrow?
Not going to take a minute, Bob. Now, let's go, huh?
All right. Say, I happen to remember I didn't bring my locker key today.
That's so.
Yeah. Come to think of it, I don't know where it is. Guess I lost it.
Well, they must have a pass key around here, don't they?
I don't think so.
Well, we'll ask at the office, huh?
You're putting me in a jam, officer. That's going to take time. I'm due downtown.
I'm sorry, Bob, but we got to check it.
I got my locker all jammed up with stuff. It'll take us an hour.
Office is down there, Joe.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
I don't know why you're picking on me. My locker's jammed. They can't get it open. Why are you picking on me?
Let's ask him here. Go ahead, Bob.
Close the door.
Yeah?
I got my key. I'll show you.
Robert Lavelle took us to his locker and opened it. Hidden inside one of his gym shoes, we found 4 sticks of medium-grade marijuana. We took them, put them in an envelope, and sealed it. On the way downtown, the boy told us that he'd been buying the stuff for about 6 months and reselling it to some of the students at the high school. Said that he paid 50 cents apiece for the sticks and sold them for 75. He was an occasional user himself. Before we turned him over to the juvenile officers, he told us that a man named Ray Jensen supplied him with the marijuana. Jensen's address was a trailer camp in the southwest part of Los Angeles. We drove out and checked with the operator of the camp. He pointed out Jensen's trailer at the rear of the camp.
That one, Joe? The blue and gray one?
Yeah, this is good right here.
Yeah, okay.
Looks like Jensen's doing well, huh?
Yeah, nice looking trailer. Just a minute.
Yeah? Police officer.
All right, open it up.
Get out of here.
Come
Get
on.
out.
Watch it, Joe. All right, hold it, mister. Get out. Get out. All right, Jensen.
That's good, Ben. I'll get him.
Yeah. All right, come on, get out.
What's the pitch, huh? Where's your warrant?
It's all over the floor, Jensen. Marijuana.
Who tipped? One of those lousy kids, huh? Which one?
You guess. You know enough of them.
You can't tap me for all that. I'm not the big guy.
All right, then who is?
I don't know. I'm only one of the mules.
Where do you get your stuff?
The big guy, the big tomato. That's what they call him.
Yeah?
Big man. Nobody sees him. I don't even know what he looks like. Neither do you.
You let us worry about that. Come on.
Big tomato. That's what they call him. You won't get him. He's smart. You won't get him in 89 years.
Maybe not, but we'll get him.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action. Now, here's an authentic report from Fatima Cigarettes.
1949. Fatima more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. 1950. Another record-breaking year, with more long cigarette smokers insisting on Fatima quality than ever before.
In 1951, enjoy Fatima quality yourself.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima quality yourself. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
Friday, April the 12th, 7 p.m. We searched the trailer and a stakeout was placed on it, and then we took Ray Jensen downtown to the main jail where he was booked for suspicion of narcotics, a felony. The next day, Ben and I went back and questioned him. We got nowhere. The only thing he'd tell us was that the leader of the marijuana ring was unknown to him. The big tomato, that's all he could tell us. We went back and started rechecking leads furnished us by some of the high school boys who had purchased narcotics from Robert Lavelle. They all ended nowhere. Meantime, the flow of marijuana into the schools and into the hands of the teenage students continued. We'd no sooner choke off one source of supply when two more would turn up. We knew that there was only one real solution: find the gang leader and wipe out the entire supply and distribution setup. We stayed on it. Monday, April 22nd. Ben got a call from one of his informants that he had a lead on the source of marijuana on the east side of town. The informant's name was Willie Breck, a groundskeeper at a golf course near one of the city high schools. We drove out to talk to him. We located Breck by the clubhouse near the first tee.
On the tee now, Art Dory, Richmond, Virginia.
You remember my partner, don't you, Willie? Joe Friday?
Oh, yeah.
How are you, Willie?
Kind of busy today. Big tournament.
Yeah, quite a crowd you got here. Nice turnout.
Yeah, you've been having trouble, huh? Well, I'm Mary in town?
Yeah, you think you can help us?
Maybe I can. Dirty business, huh? Working high school kids with that stuff. It's real dirty.
Any ideas, Willie?
Don't know how much of it's true. It's all from the grapevine downtown. The boss is somebody they call the Big Tomato. Funny one, huh?
Any idea who he is?
Couldn't say. He's getting lots of the stuff in, though. Usual feed line over from Mexico.
Mm-hmm. What else, Willie?
I hear there's more on the way. Don't know when, though. All for high school trade. Guess they figure they got a good business.
How'd they get the junk over, do you know?
No, but it's getting here. Almost any kid can get some over on this side of town. Imagine that, kids in their teens. Weed hits.
Oh.
How about this Big Tomato, Willie? No word at all?
Just one, pretty thin.
Yeah?
There's a connection. Lives over on Hauser Boulevard. Got his number here somewhere. It's supposed to be the main connection for this tomato guy. Oh, yeah. There's his address. Third number there. It's a 6. Guy's name is Tony Childs.
Mm-hmm. Is he supposed to handle all the stuff?
Most of it, I hear. Gets it all from the Big Tomato.
That about it?
That's it. Tony Childs. You got the address.
Many thanks, Willie. Anything comes up, you'll call, huh?
Sure thing.
How's the job out here?
Better than yours. I sure wouldn't want it. Working every day around joy poppers, mules, mainliners.
Well, somebody's got to do it, Willie.
Yeah, but not for me, Sergeant. Those dopesters are all lice. Selling junk to kids. Guess you met the lowest, huh?
No, not yet. We're looking for him. We went back to the office and checked the name and address of Tony Childs through R&I. No previous record. A stakeout was placed on his home and at his place of business. Childs himself was placed under 24-hour surveillance. A week passed. Nothing happened. Another week. Still nothing. There was no let-up in the supply of marijuana finding its way into the city and then into the schools. We couldn't see the beginnings of the racket, but we saw the end result. The percentage of juvenile users was still on the upswing. Wednesday, May 8th. We heard rumbles of another big marijuana buy in the offing. Either it failed to materialize or we missed it. Friday, May 10th. Ben and I took our turn shadowing the suspect, Tony Childs.
Can you see him from here, Joe?
Yeah. He's still in the barber shop. There's 2 guys with him.
Yeah. 4:10, we better check in, huh?
Yeah, I'll call in, huh?
Drugstore there. Must have a phone.
Yeah, all right. I'll be right back. Narcotics, please. Thank you. Yeah, Johnny. Joe Friday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we got him paid. Okay, right away. Bye.
What have you got?
Tony Childs. They want him picked up right away.
How come?
Well, they just raided his place. They found 32 ounces of weed in his room. Supposed to have more on him.
Well, let's go.
Come on.
What do you think? Trouble?
Well, don't be surprised. Childs, like to talk to you.
What's that?
Police officers like to talk to you and your 2 friends here downtown.
Can't make it, copper. Flying to Vegas tonight.
We want to see you downtown first.
Luck don't push me, huh?
Nobody's pushing you, Childs. We want to see you downtown. Now, come on, let's go.
Look out, Joe, Rampant Sam. Watch it!
3 of them. Okay.
I'll get him.
All right, come on, you.
And I'm glad this doesn't come up often. Where's the barber?
He ran outside. Rough one, huh?
Yeah. What's your hunch, Joe? Think one of these 3 is a big tomato?
I don't know. Let's ask him. A search of the barber shop failed to reveal the presence of any narcotics. Tony Childs and his 2 companions were found to have a dozen sticks of marijuana in their possession. They were treated for cuts and bruises at Georgia Street and then booked for suspicion of narcotics, a felony, at the main jail. 3 other men found at Childs' apartment at the time of the raid were also booked. We got nowhere questioning any of them. As usual, we had the small fry, but the ringleader, the big tomato, was still in the clear. Still free to hire somebody else to run the marijuana supply line into the high school. 3 weeks passed. Together with Captain Kearney and Sergeant Barr, Ben and I rechecked our earlier leads. We ran down anything that even looked like it might be promising. Nothing panned out. Wednesday, June 5th, 5:30 p.m. We got a call from the main jail. Tony Childs wanted to talk to us. Ben and I went over to see him.
Childs?
I got something for you. Been playing the stooge long enough. If I'm good enough for jail, so's he.
All right, what do you got?
It's a big buy coming off. When you get him, tell him how long I've been in here.
What kind of a buy?
Mary, one of the biggest. It was set up before I got in here.
Where's the meat going to be?
Bruno Street, down by the train yards. I'll draw you a map. Setup's the same. Car pulls up and honks a couple of times, and an alley down there.
Who's handling the buy?
A big man. Don't waste any time.
When is it?
Tonight.
We went back to the office and met with Sergeants Barr and Jacobson. 8 p.m. Ben and I took up our positions on the stakeout along with the rest of the men. We had a clear view of the exact location where the buy was to be made. We waited. 10 p.m. 11 p.m. No one showed. Midnight came and went. 1:30 a.m. Still no sign. At 18 minutes to 2, we spotted a man carrying a shopping bag emerge from behind a row of freight cars near the end of the rail yard. He made his way across the street to the alley. He stood back in the shadow.
As soon as the car gets in the alley, we pull up and block it, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Beck will do the same thing down at the other end.
Headlights coming in the alley.
Wait a minute.
No, they're going on through.
What's the time now?
4 minutes to 2.
We waited. 18 minutes passed. Still no sign of the car that, according to Childs, was supposed to be there for the big buy. We could still see the figure of a man with a shopping bag huddled in the alley. 3 a.m.
Joe.
Yeah?
Car down there in the alley.
Yeah. That's it? You want to start up?
Yep.
Just enough to block the alley.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. All right, come on, let's go. Come on. All right, kill your engine and get out of the car.
Joe, look out!
They can't go far. Come on. All right, let's get them out of there.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's 3 of them. Here's the guy with the shopping bag. All right, I got it. Crash knocked them cold. Yeah. That's one. Easy there. Yeah. Pull right over there, will you? Get his coat off of that. I got it. Okay. That's it. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this, Joe. Found one of them in this guy's hand.
Tin can, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Full of marijuana. You look at the labels on those cans?
Yeah. Fancy solid packed tomatoes.
There he is, the big tomato.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 3rd, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 89, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, if you're a long cigarette smoker like I am, remember, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Now, believe me, this difference is mighty important. So important that you'll always remember the first pack of Fatimas that you buy. Fatima's fast-growing popularity backs me up on that. But look, you can prove it to yourself by getting a pack of Fatimas tomorrow. You'll find that they now cost the same as other long cigarettes. And your first pack will convince you to go right on smoking them.
Join me and the new thousands who enjoy Fatima's extra mildness, Fatima's rich, better flavor and aroma. You'll discover what all we Fatima smokers know. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
John A. Stanton, alias the Big Tomato, along with his associates in the narcotic gang, was tried and convicted for violating the State Narcotic Act. He received sentences as prescribed by law and are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary.
The radio editors of the United States and Canada have named Dragnet the best radio program of its type for 1950. And Dragnet's Jack Webb, the most promising star of tomorrow.
In behalf of Dragnet, I'd like to thank the radio editors of the United States and Canada and the editors of Motion Picture Daily who conducted the voting in the 15th annual poll for Fame magazine.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Later, here's Spellbound with Joseph Cotton on Screen Directors on NBC.